was just talking with Chris because Chris is from New York. He obviously has been down here with us, and he still watches the Yankees. And I was just asking him about a guy that we're going to hear. I think we're going to hear a lot about. And I just asked the question. I said, why would the Yankees let him go? I want to bring you into this, Chris, because Lucas Luetge, right? Is that right?
Lucas Luetge.
So why would they let him go? Because I think this is a big pickup for us.
Yeah, he's a really, really good left-handed reliever. He can come in and get lefties and righties out. I think it was an embarrassment of riches for the Yankees as they look to reshape their bullpen. They have a new closer coming in this year, Clay Holmes, and they are sort of restocking and retooling the back end of their bullpen the same way the Braves did. So he was just sort of a casualty of too many men.
Ah, okay. So that's why we got the Luetge.
Well, and Mike, here's the deal: designated, by the Yankees, 2.71 ERA. He had 107 appearances during his past two seasons, but he also had 138 strikeouts. So
good workhorse setup, man. That's great.
The guy can pitch. So here's the thing about our Braves. It's Dukes and Bell at Sports Radio 92.9 The Game. This is not Mike and I saying this. This is MLB saying this. People that follow the game saying this. This is other general managers saying this. We have the best bullpen in baseball. Now, the Mets are going to be a close second. Chris just talked about the Yankees.
Right.
The Astros are going to be good again. But when you talk about the setup situation for where we're at right now, with Raisel Iglesias closing and A.J. Minter and Colin Mayhew, Mike, these three guys were they set up to be really hard to beat. If we have leads late, I don't think we should be concerned or worried about the bullpen coming in. Now, we'll have a few blown saves. It happens every year. The games are just too many.
But I like Iglesias. I just was over Kenley. Kenley Jansen, I know every relief pitcher, you and I debated last year, what is a wobble, what is just a normal wear and tear type thing. But I'm excited about seeing Iglesias as the guy. Minter is just, we're so reliable, we kind of take it for granted at times, don't we?
2.06 ERA. He struck out 35% of the batters he faced when you talk about how reliable Minter was. McHugh, his first season with the Braves, and we were like, what's this guy going to do? He comes in. Mike, I know we talk about whip, but his whip was 0.94 last season, 58 appearances. He was used a lot. Yes, he's older. He's 35 years old, but he hasn't shown any signs of a breakdown. So you have experience, you have guys with stuff, you have guys with heat, and then you add, this kid we're talking about from the Yankees we just got. All of a sudden, this bullpen with Joe Jiménez, we got the best bullpen in the majors. And again, that's not us saying it. That's MLB.com and everybody else going, look at what the Braves have in the bullpen.
Now, Matzik, you're going to have to wait for another, it'll be another season without Matzik for the most part because obviously with the surgery, Colby Allard, we talked about Kirby Yates with the general manager Alex Anthopoulos earlier in the week. So, yeah, it's maybe not some of the names you think of as, but these are guys, Carl just gave you the numbers. Look at the numbers, these guys that do their job. And, yeah, Luke Jackson, we killed him. He was driving people crazy. Luke Jackson was a nice piece. He's no longer on the roster, but they don't lose much replacing him.
I think Luke went to the Giants. I think he signed with the Giants.
Oh, by the way, we didn't mention this. It was funny. Pitchers and catchers report, obviously, this week. And then within like a day down at the Texas Rangers camp, I had to take a break. DeGrom. They literally had to put DeGrom on pause within like a day of throwing. So, high risk, high reward. The Mets, you could argue, are in a much better place now with the starting, but the Mets got the pressure. The only problem was with the Braves. We won the division. The Mets folded. Remember that ridiculous ESPN broadcast with them?
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, the Braves are winning the division, guys. But this team just unfortunately just ran out of everything at the wrong time. The Miami series was kind of like gave you a bad vibe for the Philly, divisional, the first round. You know what I'm saying?
It did.
Nobody could hit. The Fried thing was certainly a major contributing factor. Fried couldn't do his job. I still wonder, and I know that we got guys battling for the fifth spot with Ian Anderson and Soroka, but me, brother. Every year you and I debate this at spring training. Just wonder if we have enough starting pitching, quality starting pitching. Charlie Morton, finally, everyone seems to say the year that he broke the leg, he's never 100%. So this year he will be a better guy. Nobody really generally gets better getting older, but that's what people are saying about Charlie Morton this year.
Another guy to look out for in this bullpen, I mentioned Joe Jiménez. He came over from the Tigers, 3.49 ERA. A lot of people like his stuff. And then you add Dylan Lee, and you add, all these guys, Nick Anderson, Jesse Chavez has been invited to camp. My guess is, Mike, they like him enough, he'll make the squad.
I don't know how anybody, I don't know how nobody just hits everything off of him because he's at 89 to 90, but Chavez he's got guile, Carl. He's got guile.
So, bullpen looks good. You mentioned the fifth starter. We talked with Grant McCauley on the show earlier this week about a lot of things Braves. This is what he said about Soroka getting that fifth starter spot.
I really do, and I think that last year having that opportunity to get that handful of minor league starts helped him to kind of knock off some rust and to remind himself, okay, I've done all this rehab. Now I'm out here facing hitters again, and I'm back doing the thing that I wanted to be doing for so long. So I think that was helpful for him. I think that, once he gets down and to work and back in these every fifth day, rotation plans that they have during the Grapefruit League, we'll start to see where Mike Soroka is this year. He told us at FanFest, no limitations on him. Physically, he feels as good as he ever has. It felt like a normal winter. He didn't have to spend all that time doing specific work for his leg. And, obviously his arm last year, he had that little bit of inflammation to where they felt like no real reason to push him through another start or two in the minors because it became pretty apparent they weren't going to use him in the big leagues last year, and it was more about getting him back on the mound and having him ready for spring training. And I know they're excited to see him, excited to see Ian Anderson and Bryce Elder and maybe some of these other young arms, show them what they can this spring to let them know that they have that pitching depth that they're going to need. Because Brian Snitker had a team meeting this morning and told all those pitchers, hey, we used nearly 30 pitchers last year. 11 of them were starters. So you guys may or may not be on the opening day roster, but you may or may not play a role before everything is said and done in the 2023 season.
Cool. One guy we didn't mention, I was just talking with Chris, remember Oscar Hinoa, Tommy John surgery last year in the fall, and don't know if he's going to be coming like the next Touki Toussaint because I loved his stuff, and then everything's not been the same since he busted his hand. But that'll be down the road along with Matzik. But they got a lot of guys, and as Snicker said, everybody, the young guys, remember 3 or 4 years ago, it was like, you, up there, next, back to Gwinnett. You used to joke around about it, but they're in a much, much better place. And now, as a lot of the experts say, the best bullpen in the league. See what the Mets come up with.
We've got, to go along with that great bullpen, it's Dukes and Bell, Sports Radio 92.9 The Game. And I know they haven't pitched a game yet, but again, these are projections. This is what baseball is, right? You look at the numbers, you look at all the things, and it adds up. But we also had the 7 of the MLB's top 10 position rankings, Mike, which is Austin Riley, Matt Olson, Michael Money Harris, Ronald Acuna, Max Fried, Sean Murphy, which we hadn't seen. Guys, he might be the best catcher in baseball. Seriously.
Well, again, everybody does compare him. And look, I don't want to get into the comps, but you look what the Phillies have, and you say, okay, that's not bad. I think certainly if you're gonna platoon. I don't like the platoon going back. Bad memories of Bobby Cox, but they're gonna get the most out of this right now between him and Little D.
Yeah, because Darno still has another year on his deal, but Sean Murphy, long term, that's a great pickup.
And it's JT. Sorry, I went brain to JT Real Mutos, who's almost always comp to as far as where he was in his career at this stage.
Yeah, and Sean Murphy has been comp to him. You're absolutely right. 404-741-0929. It's our Solomon Brothers Diamond text line. Brave spring training continues, but this is something that a lot of people around baseball are saying, and I agree with them totally, wholeheartedly. Now, again, some of these guys you haven't seen, but they're coming in with a resume that screams, hey, these guys used in the right way. And this gets back to Snit, Mike, using the right way. And I don't know how his rotations are going to be as far as coming out of the pen and who he's going to use. Obviously, it's matchup still and lefty, righty, etc. But we know the new rule. You got to come out of the pen and face at least 3 guys. You have a strong enough bullpen where you feel comfortable with the guys you're going to roll out there. And Leckie, the new addition, Lucas Leckie from the Yankees, I think that's going to be a guy you're going to want to see the pitch. You're going to want to see how he looks.